Hey everyone, it's Anson here from Weekend Garage. Today I've got an exciting video for you guys. We're going to go through 5-year ownership of this Ram Rebel. This is a 2020 DT model. So we're going to go through things that broke, what to look out for if you're in the market for one. We're going to show you the wear and tear and every TSB that we've been through and things we've done to make the ownership experience just a little bit better. So here we have a 2020 Ram Rebel with the 5.7 liter Hemi, a last of its kind as now it's discontinued and replaced with the Hurricane engine. The 5.7 has been very reliable so far. Usually the most common issues are the headers down here by the drivers and passenger side. They make a ticking noise when the bolts snap as it's no longer held on properly. It'll rattle against a block when it's cold, but once it heats up, that goes away. So for this vehicle, we have 46,000 kilometers on it after 5 years, which is nothing. If you put it on miles, it's probably like 26,000 or something really low. It's all city driven. Oil changes were done every 5,000 kilometers. It's excessive, but in our case, it's cheaper to do an oil change than to have a blown engine. Even though warranty will cover any of the issues, we decided to go this route because we wouldn't want it sitting in the shop for a long time anyways, which this truck has not been sitting in the shop because it's well taken care of. So the most common issues with this vehicle are leaks in our experience. There's been multiple leaks in our vehicle, such as, if you look on the top of the glass here, so all along the edge of the frame, we've put silicone, because this has been replaced twice already by the dealer. The whole glass has been replaced, even the sliding glass back there, because if you look in here, that frame rail up here, that plastic you see, it'll crack over time. You'll see a crack over here and over there, and that's when it'll begin to leak. They've made it more robust now with a thicker plastic material. So after that was replaced, the problem went away for about a year or so and it came back. So in order to fix that, we just went ahead and put some glass sealant or some flowable silicone all along the edge, and that fixed the rear glass leak. There's 3 separate areas that would leak in the rear. So let me break it down for you guys. For us, only the glass is leaked and it's been replaced. And there's a 10-year extension if you're in the States. However, if you're anywhere else in the world, even Canada where we are, you're not covered in the 10-year extended, unfortunately. So first part, it's the glass leak. Second part, it's the CHML, the center mounted brake light up there. So that gasket around there could leak, which I believe ours has as well. We just put some black electrical tape on there. You can't even see that it's been put on from afar, and we actually forgot it's been put on there. So that's another leak. We decided not to put silicone up there because if we ever need to change a bulb, we're not going to be fighting the silicone as opposed to the glass. We're never going to take it out unless someone smashes it. But if someone smashes it, we got a bigger problem than silicone. So we decided to do tape for that. However, we could have just bought a new gasket or a new light to replace that, which we may do down the road, but small issue. A third leak back here is the top shark fin antenna. That gasket around the edge would break down over time from the sun and the weather. And if that happens, you're going to see water stains up top from that. And with our black headliner, you can't see it, but if you got a gray headliner, you're going to see leaks. It's going to look disgusting. So with the rear window leak and the top brake light leak, you're going to find out one day when your seats are all wet. You're either going to find out that way, or your automatic keyless entry stops working because the radio module or the wireless radio antenna module is behind these seats, behind a carpeted area. And when that leaks, it drains onto the module itself, it fries it, and there goes a couple $1,000s. So in our case, it was fine because I caught it early, and the carpets will become damp and wet. You'll notice the inside of your car will become foggy every morning before you drive after a night of rain. All right, so there's all the leaks in the back. We've gone over that, the 3 leaking spots. Now we're gonna go up front. We're talking about the leaks first because this is the most common issue I had to deal with over and over with the life of this vehicle. Another leak is over here. If we open up the driver's door, it's the driver's area carpet leak. A lot of people confuse it with the rear leak, but it's a totally separate issue. So you're gonna notice this when you enter the vehicle and you notice the carpets are all damp. You're gonna think at first, did I go through a drive-through car wash or were my boots wet is what caused the issue. But you're gonna realize when you lift that up, it's all soaking under there. It's like a lake in your vehicle. And second of all, you're gonna notice some water marks on your window in the morning from the condensation, but it's gonna be excessive. It's gonna look like it was raining inside your vehicle. So in order to fix that, there are two possibilities. The main concern with a TSB out from Ram themselves is this front fender here. So they call it, once you remove this front fender, this part right here, we have a tutorial on how to fix all these leaks on our channel. You guys can check out our history. So in order to fix that leak for the driver's footwell, we have to remove the front fender. And there's an area up here right behind the fender. It's called the front aperture. We just had to reseal that with some seam seal, and it was perfectly fine. It never leaked again since that fix. Also, another leak, it could be because when you had your windshield replaced, you didn't seal it properly and it leaks along the side here. That's another issue, but most common, it's the front aperture with a TSB out for that issue, as it's very common. Only on the driver's side and nothing out for the passenger side. So continuing with the replacements on this vehicle, another part we had to replace, this was covered under warranty thankfully, is back here. If we open up the tailgate, these two cables back here, they were different lengths. So one was longer than the other. There was tension on one and not the other. They were telling me that it was normal, but it's not acceptable in my book, so I had them replace it. Now it's even. So when you put pressure on the tailgate, they both have strain on the cable, so you know it's being supported on both sides and it's not going to bend over time. Small issue, and we'll move on from this. Another thing is, if you're looking at these rear tail lights, I kind of noticed a crack along the edge here. You see that? Not sure if that's a manufacturer defect, but so far there hasn't been water in the light, but it's the same on both sides. So these are just some things to look out for. We have the rear bed step. You want to make sure that's working. We added that in ourselves afterwards. It's very useful in getting in and out the vehicle. We have a mod for everything we've done on our channel as well. If you guys want to do that to your truck, put that out of the way. Make sure that's working on the truck you're trying to buy. So when we go to the other side, you can take a look at the lights. It kind of looks cracked along here. When I know it hasn't been hit, because it's the same on both sides, it looks like a manufacturing defect over time. Just look out for that. Lights still work though, however. All right, so now that we talked about all the water leaks and all the small issues with the vehicle, let's talk about the mechanical part. There has been some mechanical issues. However, there's been no breakdown of the vehicle. I never had to get it towed or never left me stranded. So let's pop the hood here. I'll show you guys. So with the 5.7 Hemi, this is what it looks like. Engine bay has never been cleaned in 5 years. That's what it looks like. I never really do any off-roading much, so the wear and tear is less than the average vehicle. So with this vehicle, the Hemi's been solid because we've done all the oil changes. We swapped the battery to H8 instead of that original H7. So now it's a H8 AGM. As you can see, it's the full length of the battery tray before it ended here with a stopper right there. So now we have a bigger capacity and longer time for battery use and easier starts on colder days as we are located here in Canada. So a problem we had with this vehicle mechanically is the transmission. Not sure if it's because it's the 392 gears or it's just ZF8 in the early years, but when you shift sometimes, as seen in our other videos, out of park, so when you go from park to drive, the whole vehicle will jolt forward and do a loud mechanical clunk. That was unacceptable for a vehicle of this price. And we took it to the dealer 3 times. They diagnosed it. Even with a TSB provided from us via forums, they're unable to resolve it. So what we had to do in that case was take matters into our own hands, as we are the authorized distributors for Alpha OBD. So with Alpha OBD, we had fixed the issue, but beforehand, every time we shift into drive or park, the whole vehicle would clunk and jolt forward like a hoopty. So dealers can't fix that if you're having the same problem, but we fixed it with Alpha OBD. You can check out our other video if that's happening to you, or if you're test driving a vehicle, make sure you park it, put it in drive, or put your parking brake on first, and then put it in neutral. Let the vehicle's weight sit on the parking brake instead of the parking crawl gear, and then shift it into park. And then now when you shift it out of drive, listen for that mechanical noise, roll the windows down. If you hear a jolt, which sounds like a loose drive shaft, or you'll know. It's supposed to be silky smooth. You're not supposed to hear anything. If you hear a jolt, either look for another vehicle, or if the price is worth it, you can try to fix it yourself. But that was extremely annoying, and they had no solution for it. They blamed it on the differential, the transfer case. They blamed it on everything except what I knew the issue was. So we fixed it ourselves. It no longer does that with some programming and some parameters being reset via our program Alpha OBD. That's resolved, but that was extremely annoying before we had to spend time on it to fix that issue. So with that being said, mechanically, I'd say I give it a solid 8 so far, because it's never left us stranded. It's just little things, but being an American truck, the way it drives like an SUV or like a car, not like the heavy duty F350s. It drives like it's in 3 pieces. So with the amount of problems it caused and what kind of vehicle it is, I would give it a pass and I would still purchase it. I think it's not bad at all, and it's better than the other trucks I've driven. So now let's go over the electronics. The headlights are all LED. I know for the newer vehicles, I think it goes back to halogen for the blinker lights, but this is all LED. Nothing's broken so far, knock on wood. The fog lights are LED, signals, high beams, low beams, DRLs. What we did to preserve the lifespan of the headlight, because if it burns out, you gotta replace the whole head unit. As you can see, it's an LED chip inside right there. So if this breaks, you gotta buy a whole headlight housing. So for us to make it last longer, we used Alpha OBD, which is a software that we provide, sell, and support that can program out the headlights during the daytime. So when it's nice and sunny out like this, on a regular Ram, the headlights will turn on, the low beams. So in that case, you're wasting the lifespan of the headlights. It's on for no reason because it's broad daylight. No one's gonna see it anyways. It's gonna end up with premature burnout. So in order to prevent that, instead of having low beams as the daytime running lights, we program these halos around the edge here, which is a white glow that looks really nice, to be the daytime running lights instead. So when you drive around in the daytime and it's bright out, only the halos will stay on around the edge, and it automatically knows when it's dark out because there are light sensors right there where the windshield wiper sensors are. So when it's dark out, the low beams will automatically turn on and function as usual. But heads up for you guys, if those burn out, it's not going to be cheap because the whole unit has to be replaced. But once again, we have a solution for it to prevent that. So besides the transmission having issues and the lights being fine, let's go over wear and tear. So we've replaced the wheels with the TRX speed locks. That's going well so far, no complaints there. Makes the vehicle look a lot better. As you can see, it lines up with the fender. So wear and tear, take a look at that. Not sure if it's picking up on camera, but passengers that get in the vehicle, they don't care. They just open it like this. They have their nails scratch the back of the door handle here, which irks me. But I know a lot of people don't care. They're gonna say it's just a truck, who cares? But I care, so I'll put PPF right here. So in case they have their nails or rings or whatever, it's just gonna scratch that and it's self-healing. So when the sun shines on it, all the scratches will be gone. You can cut it nicer. I just didn't have enough time to do so, but you can put PPF there to prevent it. So let's open the door. This is what the inside looks like so far. No signs of wear and tear because I let people know. This is not a beater, so don't drag your feet when entering and exiting the vehicle. So if you take a look at this part, you can see there's scratches all along the side, but this is because I have PPF applied here, which is a paint protection film, all along the edge. So when people enter the vehicle, even with the amp step extremes, which lower almost to the ground like a step, it cuts the step up height in half. People just drag their feet for some reason. So it's all scratched here, but thanks to the PPF, it's protected. If you don't have this film for your vehicle, I've seen in my friends' vehicles, it's scratched to the point where you can see bare metal. The primer is gone, the paint is gone. So this is a good idea to keep your vehicle looking brand new. So we have also upgraded the stainless steel pedals down there, which looks a lot nicer and premium. The wire you see there is for programming, which we were doing earlier. So here's the wear and tear on the driver's side. There's 0 signs because when we get out the vehicle, we don't drag our butt along here. That's what makes it look ugly. A lot of people drag it here and they get off and they scratch the side. But we have the steps and we try to mitigate that issue by getting out properly. So the seats look brand new. Well, this whole interior looks brand new. If you take a look at the center console here, zero signs of wear and tear, not a scratch on anything. As we like to keep our vehicles in pristine condition, it kind of tells you what kind of owner they were, just seeing the wear and tear of the vehicle. If it's a tradesman truck or it's a company truck, everyone beats on it, you can tell the foam's popping out, or it's ripped, or the buttons are missing. So these are the little telltale signs of the vehicle's history. Even with the Carfax, a lot of things can be changed or hidden. I'm not sure about the US, but in Canada, you can do things to hide certain things. But if you take a look at the side, once again, there's PPF, no scratches. So the seatbelt on the driver's side, as you can see, it's fraying a little bit right here. That kind of bothers me a little bit, but no biggie. Because when you put the seatbelt on, the angle of the seatbelt kind of scratches the belt itself. On German vehicles, I've never seen this, so this is new to me, but not too shabby. Other than that, for a 5-year-old vehicle, if you take a look at here, not a single scratch. For a 5-year-old vehicle, it holds up and it still looks brand new, as opposed to other trucks in the market. This doesn't look like a 2020. For the regular person, they all look the same, especially if it's a black truck. But if you're a car guy, you can tell this doesn't look aged so far. So if you guys are in the market for a DT model, which is 2019 to 2025 with the facelift update in 2025, this has been an extremely solid vehicle. I would recommend you guys to still buy it. I would buy it as opposed to the new Hurricane engines, because if I want to tune and make my vehicle fast, I know what the inline six is, which you can do easily because I had an inline six turbo before. You can do that, but if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do it in a truck. Call me traditional, but I like my trucks with a big V8. So anyways, I hope this video helped you guys out on what to look for and the ownership experience of 5 years from brand new till now. Let me know if you guys got any questions. You can leave them down in the comments below or email us directly. Thank you for watching, everyone, and see you guys in the next one.